Dear students, now we will learn about pressure. In the last videos, you have understood about force, that is, what is force, its different types and effects of force you have learnt. Now we will talk about pressure. So, what is pressure? Yes, pressure is nothing but force per unit area. You might wonder that why we have to learn about pressure, as we have already discussed about force and its effects. Why do we want to talk about pressure? That is because the amount of force which we apply and the amount of impact that we get, many times it differ. Let us suppose you are pushing a wall with the same amount of force, and also you are pushing a small book with the same amount of force, but the impact or result of both the forces are extremely different. That is, the wall do not move when the force is applied, but a book might move to a very large distance when the same force is applied, right? In order to understand this impact, that means that applied for that object, the force which is applied for that object, we have to learn about pressure. So in order to understand the impact when the force is applied on an object, we have to learn about pressure, because it also depends on area that force has been applied. Yeah, so on what area the force is applied, that has to be understood. So as per definition, pressure is nothing but the force per unit area. Yeah, pressure is the force acting on a unit area of a surface. So pressure is equal to force divided by area. Yes, the unit of pressure, that is the force, is having a unit Newton. Force is measured in newtons and area is measured in meters square. Therefore, the unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, or it is also called as Pascal. Newton per meter square is also called as Pascal, in honor of French physicist Blaise Pascal. Okay, so the unit is named after the French physicist Blaise Pascal, noted for his contribution to experiments with the barometer. Okay, so the unit of pressure is Newton per meter square, or it is Pascal, denoted by the symbol PA. Okay, so now how the pressure is depending on the area. Let us study that. So when the how the force is applied on the unit area. Now let us study. So with an example, we can see here the needle versus a blunt rod on a skin. So here I have considered a needle, okay, and a blunt rod. So when in the first case, when you pierce the needle with this pin on the skin of your hand, so what happens? Here the area, the force applied on the skin, if you see, the area is less. And in the second case, if the blunt rod is pierced on your skin, okay, so the area applied is more. So the area of contact in the first case, it is less, and the area of contact in the second case, it is more. So in which the pressure in the first case is more and the pressure in the second case, it is less. So here you can see the area is less. Here the area is less, but in the second case the area is more. So force in both the cases, the force applied on the pin and on the blunt end, both force is same. I'll consider that force as F. Okay, F is the force applied by the pin and also the blunt end. So what happens to the pressure here? In the first case, the pressure P is equal to, as we know, it is force divided by area. Therefore, here area is less. So where pressure is inversely proportional to area, so as the area is less, pressure will be more. That means as the pin is pierced to the skin, the it pains, right? Because where there is more pressure. But in the second case, as area is more, force is less. So what happens to the pressure? Pressure is equal to force divided by area. So here area is more. As area increases, what happens to the pressure? Pressure is going to decrease. Okay. So as area is more, what happens? Pressure is less. That means there is no pain when the blunt end of a rod is pierced into the on the skin. Okay. So nothing like that pain is felt when blunt end is pierced. Okay, so that means that in the first case the pressure was more. Okay, in the first case the pressure was more as the area is less, but in the second case, as the area of contact is more, the force applied on more area on the here the area is more, due to which pressure is less. Okay, so where less pain is felt. So force is same but area is changed in these two cases. That means the impact of force is depending on the area of force applied. Whatever impact of force is depending on area of force applied. So by now we understood about pressure, that is pressure is depending on area, that is pressure is equal to force divided by area. That means as the area increases, pressure decreases, and as the area decreases, pressure increases. Okay, if the area is smaller, the pressure is more on the surface of the for the same force. So you can see here the example where the pressure is involved. So that is where it is depending on the area, where the lesser area, the nail which is pointed because to exert pressure, and the knife of the where we use this to cut some of vegetables, fruits and all. The blunt end we are not using, we are using the sharp end of the knife. In the same way, here you can see the cutter where its end is very sharp, where it is having less area, and you can see the bag which is having a broader strap which on the shoulder. So why it is so now? Keeping in mind this concept, let us now understand the applications of pressure. Okay, so what are the applications of pressure? So first let us study the applications involving high pressure. So when there is high pressure, when the area of an area is less. So if the area where the force applied on the lesser area, which results in high pressure. So example you can see here, the first example, a sharp knife. So sharp knife has a very small surface area on its cutting edge, so that high pressure can be exerted to cut the vegetables and meat. Okay, so a sharp knife is having the sharp edges where the area is reduced to increase the pressure, which is easy to cut the objects. In the same way, you can see the nail here. Nail or a needles and pins have very sharp ends with a very small surface area. Why it is so? Because to increase the pressure. So when a force is applied to the head of the nail, the pressure will drive its sharp end into a piece of wood easily. Okay, so where it requires where high pressure is involved, where the area is less, the force applied on a smaller area gives high pressure. Okay, so these are the two applications which are involving high pressure. Now next let us study the applications involving low pressure. So in which are the places where the low pressure is used? So that is, you can see here in the picture, here the skiers use flat and long skies to slide on the snow because larger the area of cross section, less is the pressure on the snow, right? So larger the area of cross section, the less is the pressure on the snow. Hence, a skiers can easily slide over the snow without sinking his feet in the ground. Okay, it is for the same reason that sledges are never provided with the wheels, because the wheels increases pressure on the snow, due to which it may sink, right? So the skiers can easily slide over snow without sinking his feet into the ground, because where the area of contact has been increased, as the area increases, pressure on the snow decreases, right? So this is the first application where area has been increased to decrease the pressure. In the second case, you can see a tractor moving on a soft ground has wide tires. You may see a heavy vehicle which is having more number of tires. Why it is so? Because to decrease the pressure on the ground. So as there is a weight for the heavy vehicles, there will be more weight. So to decrease the pressure, they will increase the area of contact. That means they are going to increase the area. So a tractor moving on a soft ground has the wide tires to reduce the pressure on the ground, so that they will not sink into the ground. Okay, so this examples you can see in the heavy vehicles where it is having more number of tires, where they increase the area of contact, due to which pressure can be decreased. And the third application you can see, you may have felt also, where shoulder bags, right? Where nowadays you can see the bags are strapped, it is having a wider area. So wide shoulder pad of a heavy bag will reduce the pressure exerted on the shoulder of a person carrying the bag. That means as this area of the strap increases, the pressure is decreased. Okay, because due to heavy weight of the bag, what happens, all the weight is falling on the shoulder. So as the area of the strap increases, what happens, the pressure on the shoulder decreases. So as the area increases, pressure decreases. So these are the applications involving low pressure. Okay, so whether now, whether only for solids, whether the pressure is exerted by only the solids? No. So, here, do liquids and gases also exert pressure like solids? Yes, liquids and gases also exert pressure on the walls of a container. For example, if you have a glass of water, that means water exerts pressure on the walls of a container. So now first let us study the pressure in liquids. Later on let us study the pressure in gas. Okay. So pressure in liquids. A liquid in a container exerts pressure because of its weight. That means in a container, if a liquid is present, it is exerting a pressure on the walls of a container, that is because of its weight. Okay. For example, if you try to put a finger over the ends of the tap, you may have experienced it. So when it is turned on, you feel the pressure of water in the pipe, right? So you cannot control the pressure of water. So it comes out, right? So water comes out of the pipe. So liquids exerts the pressure. So how the liquids are exerting pressures on the walls of a container? Let us see now. So the first thing you have to remember, that is liquid exerts pressure on the walls of a container. So here let us take a cylindrical rod, and the end of the cylindrical rod where it is fixed with a rubber balloon. Okay, so when you put the water in it, so what happens, the balloon gets inflated because the liquid is having some weight. Due to the weight, it is exerting pressure in the downward direction. So when you increase the level of the water, you can see here, as the level of the water increases, the pressure increases. Okay, so here the pressure is liquids are exerting pressure on the walls of a container. So if you take a, here the, it is depending on the height of the liquid column. As the height of the liquid column increases, what happens? There is an increase in pressure. Next, you can see here there is one bottle shaped container where the liquids are exerting a pressure in sideways, right? So you can see there is a balloon which is fixed at the side of the container. So when the water is filled, what happens? The balloon gets inflated. So as the water level rises, what happens? The balloon goes on inflating. That means the water or a liquid exerts pressure on the sides of the container. Next, you can see liquids exerts equal pressure at the same height. So if the bottle is made to, if we just prick the bottle at the same level, okay, from the bottom, so you can see the pressure is exerted by the liquid. So the liquid comes out of that hole where it is at the same height. You can see that it exerts equal pressure at the same height. Okay, the first point you have to remember, liquid exerts pressure on the walls of a container, and the second point, it is exerting a pressure at the bottom of a container where it is depending on the height of the liquid column, and it exerts pressure sideways. Okay, in all the direction liquids exert pressure. So liquid exert equal pressure at the same height, and if you compare the depth to the pressure in liquids, so you can see here the container is taken and water is filled in it, and at different levels there is a hole which is made to that container. So this liquid in a container has some weight. Okay, the weight exerts a pressure on the liquid below. Yes, the water is having weight where the pressure is exerted in downward direction. So the pressure in a liquid is directly proportional to its depth. Means as we go depth, what happens? The pressure goes on increasing because the weight goes on increasing as we go towards the depth, due to which the weight is more at the depth, so pressure is more. Okay, pressure in a liquid is directly proportional to the depth. As the depth increases, pressure in a liquid also increases. So you can see here how the water is coming out with the more pressure below compared to the upper surface. Okay, so pressure is more at the depth of the container in the liquid. So pressure in a liquid increases with depth. Pressure in liquid does not depend on shape or size of a container. Pressure in a liquid is not depending on the shape or size of a container, but it is depending on the height of the water column. It is depending on weight of the liquid which is used. Okay, so pressure is depending on, first it is depending on weight of the liquid which we are using. Okay, it is depending on the liquid's weight, and also it is depending on the level of water. That means as the water column is having more water, that means pressure is more. That means weight is more, due to which pressure will be more. And it is depending on depth. As the depth increases, so pressure in a liquid increases with depth. As we go deeper, pressure is more. Okay, so this is what about pressure in liquid, which is related to depth. So if you compare the density, if you relate density to pressure in a liquid, so whether all liquids are having same density or same weight? No, it differs. Density of different liquids are different. So a liquid with higher density exerts high pressure. That is because it is having larger weight. So a liquid with higher density has a larger weight. For example, you can see if you compare oil and water, yes, you may have observed while putting the oil into the bottle. So where when you cut the packet of oil, so where the pressure is exerted, so comes out of that hole, right? So during that time, if you compare to water and oil, where oil is having less density than water, so water density is more, oil density is less. So holes which are made at the same height, okay, holes, two containers, same containers are taken, and same level of water and same level of oil is inserted into the container, and the hole is made at the same height. Okay, so that time, if you observe, the oil which is coming out and the water which is coming out through that holes, so where at that level the water is having more pressure than the oil. So this indicates that a liquid with higher density, that is water, exerts high pressure, and the oil which is having low density compared to water exerts low pressure. So this is because a liquid with higher density has a larger weight. Okay, so this is what about pressure in a liquid. Now, characteristics of pressure in a liquid. So which are the characteristics we studied now? That is, pressure increases with depth. This is the first characteristic which we studied. Pressure increases with depth, and pressure acts in all direction. That means pressure is acting on the walls of a container. Okay, and the third point you have to remember, that is pressure at 2 points at the same level in same liquids are equal. If you take a same liquid in two container, then the pressure at 2 points at the same level will be equal. If you take different liquids, then it is different. Okay, so pressure at 2 points at the same level in the same liquids are equal. These are the characteristics of pressure in liquids. Now next let us study about pressure exerted by gases. So gases also exert pressure. So gases exert pressure on the walls of a container. Similarly, like liquids, gas also exert pressure on the walls of a container. For example, air inside the balloon are in random motion, so which are colliding to the surface of the ball, right? So where the balloon um, if you take an example, if you just pierce a balloon, what happens? It gets burst. So why? It is because the air is exerting the pressure on the walls of the balloon, due to which when you pick the pin, what happens? It burst. Okay, in the same way, here you can see forces of collision pushes the walls of the balloon outward, which results in air pressure in the balloon. So these are the example. You can see a tire tube, right? Tire tube where pressure air is inserted into this tube where there is air pressure. Okay, so in the same way, where you can see here the tube which is used in the water, right? So where the air is inserted, where it is exerting the pressure on the walls of that tire. Okay, so now let us study about atmospheric pressure. What do you mean by atmospheric pressure? The pressure is also exerted by the atmosphere around us. Okay, so we call this pressure exerted by the atmosphere is as atmospheric pressure. Okay, so where do you experience this atmospheric pressure? So when you were in the atmosphere, the pressure of the air around us exerts a pressure. Okay, atmospheric pressure is due to weight of the air. Yes, air is also having weight, due to which atmospheric pressure is exerted. So the weight of atmosphere acts on the surface of objects and atmospheric pressure is produced. So weight of the atmosphere is acting on the surface of the object. So there are different objects in the atmosphere. So in all these cases there is a atmospheric pressure which is produced. For example, you can take. So you can see the examples. the activities which is shown the existence of atmospheric pressure. You may have seen this activity, that is take a glass and fill it with water and just take one cardboard sheet and place it on the glass filled with water. Okay, now just make it upside down. You can see that water remains in the glass. This is due to the atmospheric pressure which is acting on the cardboard, which is pushing it up. Okay, so that means you can see the arrow mark here. The weight of the water is acting in downward direction, but equal to that, the atmospheric pressure is acting in upward direction on the cardboard, due to which here the atmospheric pressure is exerted on the cardboard is balancing. So due to which the water does not spills out. Okay. So this is the activity which shows about atmospheric existence of atmospheric pressure. You can do this activity, try it at home. Okay. So how the atmosphere exerts a pressure on the cardboard. Next, let us see the applications of atmospheric pressure. So you have used a drinking straw. Whether you have think how this works. So that is because of atmospheric pressure. That means when you suck the liquid, air inside the straw, what happens? It is removed, leaving a low pressure area. So inside the straw, as we suck, what happens? There is a low pressure area which is produced. The higher atmospheric pressure is acting on the surface of water. You can see the atmospheric pressure which is acting. You can see the arrow mark which is acting on the surface of the water or any liquid which you have taken, and this atmospheric pressure pushes the liquid into the straw, due to which we can suck the liquids with the help of a straw. Okay, this is because of atmospheric pressure. So you'll have use some rubber sucker, right, hooks, where the when you just press it, when the sucker hook is pressed to the walls, what happens? The air inside is forced out and leaving a low pressure area. So inside this, if this is a wall, when you press the rubber sucker, what happens? There in the low pressure area is created in between the wall and the rubber sucker. So the higher external atmospheric pressure outside is pressed down on the hook and makes it stick firmly on the wall. So from outside, on the surface of the rubber sucker, the atmospheric pressure is acting. So which is acting on the surface of the rubber sucker, due to which the rubber sucker sticks to the walls tightly. Okay, where atmospheric pressure is acting on it. Okay, you may have played with this rubber lizards and all, where when you just force it to the wall, it sticks. That is because of atmospheric pressure, where when it sticks to the wall, inside in between the that rubber object and the wall, there is a low pressure area which is created, due to which it is going to stick, and from outside the atmospheric pressure is acting on that toy. Okay, next, the third application where atmospheric pressure you can see, that is vacuum cleaner. Yes, may have seen the vacuum cleaners where the dust particles are trapped, right? So how it works? It is having a fan which sucks out the air when it is switched on. As the vacuum cleaner is switched on, what happens? The air is sucked out. You can see air which is removed from inside, where it creates a vacuum here. So as there is a vacuum, what happens? The higher atmospheric pressure forces the air and dust particle into the dust bag. You can see the atmospheric pressure which is acting in the outside on the surface of the dust bag. So here the dust particles which are present is going to be trapped by this dust bag, and it is going to insert in the vacuum where the dust particles are trapped, but the air still can flow through the exit. Okay, so the air is moving out, where The atmospheric pressure is exerted on the dust bag while the dust particles are entering into this and the dust is collected here. Okay, so this is also vacuum cleaner also works on the principle of atmospheric pressure. So hope you all have understood about pressure exerted on solids, liquids and gases and the applications of pressure in different areas. Okay, so hope try to understand the concept. Okay, and try to solve the exercise questions. Thank you.